Hi, welcome to MediatorPodcast.com, a podcast and video series about mediation, negotiation, and collaboration. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online valuation, divorce, and mediation services in St. Louis, Missouri. In this week's episode, we are going to discuss, do you have what it takes to be a mediator? With Kimberly Best. She's a registered nurse, mediator, and conflict coach based in Franklin, Tennessee. She's also authored the book of How to Live Forever, a guide to writing the final chapter of your life story. Also, as our guest is Elliot Herland, a mediator focused on workers' compensation cases based in Minneapolis. He's also the vice chair of the ABA section of dispute resolution in the membership committee. Welcome, Kim and Elliot. So we have Kim, who's kind of a non-attorney. We have Elliot, who's an attorney. I'm in the finance world, but maybe just getting started in how did each of you get into mediation will help people kind of understand the path. Maybe we'll let Kim go first.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's a great question. I've spent a lifetime between growing up, my work as an RN in trauma and intensive care and emergency. I've just spent a lifetime seeing extremes of human behavior, places where we're at our worst. And then the tipping point for me was going through a really bad divorce. And the thing I always noted was that this thing called conflict or disagreement, almost no one has been equipped with the tools of how to do it better. And so going through my divorce, my brother, who is an educator, introduced me to Hofstra and their mediation program. So I went just out of interest. I'd already had a psychology background just because I like people. And so the interest in conflict, I went to there, and that introduced me to mediation in general. And then I became just more and more convinced that if we could learn the skills that mediation teaches around how to handle conflict, learn those tools, the world could be a better place, like less fighting and more cooperation. So that began my journey.
That's awesome. Elliot, what about you? What kind of got you into mediation?
I think the first thing a person has to have is passion. They really need to want to be a mediator. For me, I was a litigator. I didn't enjoy many parts of litigation except for mediation. I realized how much I enjoyed mediation, and so that's where my passion took me. Now, the thing is, you need to be patient in achieving all that passion, and you need to figure out a pathway on how to get there. For me, I was fortunate enough to get a position at the Department of Labor and Industry where I would learn how to do mediation. And then, of course, there's the training that's required. But I would say passion, wanting to do it, is the essential ingredient.
Well, and I think it would be helpful too, if maybe Elliot, you can start, is just to give us a little bit of an idea of what kind of mediation you do, because I think that everybody will start to understand that mediation has a lot of different meanings. So what do you focus on, Elliot?
Well, my focus is on the workers' compensation laws and employment laws in the state of Minnesota. So when people get hurt at work, there's certain laws in place regarding benefits. And when parties are ready, they come in to mediate either about a single issue or maybe about a full, final, and complete settlement of the case.
And Kim, what about you? I know you do a very different mediation.
I do, elder care, end of life decisions. I do family and civil, but a lot of, right now, a big part of my work, I was fortunate enough to have Ken Cloak as a mentor. He did a training when I was in grad school, and I just kind of adopted him. And so Mediators Beyond Borders and some of their programs in there, I've been this year spending a lot of time working with, and that's kind of promoting mediation as a conflict resolution from a community center, well, from an interpersonal way all the way to community, especially around, you know, some of the tough issues our country's been facing and in the conflict and stuff. So using using mediation as a way to build bridges in our day-to-day life and not just in the legal system.
Well, because part of even being a mediator is like facilitating conversation, listening, trying to help people get through some sort of conflict, whether, you know, in all aspects. So I actually deal with people that are getting divorced, and if they have a business valuation or complex financial situation. So 3 very different ways to use mediation.